What is up, guys? Welcome back to yet another episode of Terrible Financial Decisions here with Walker. And of course, this week is this special little thing here. So obviously no fancy special little intro where I throw the sort of gun in and throw a couple of accessories and all of that. I'm not going to do that this week, obviously, because the teaser video that went out last week, and obviously of course that's the same video that you guys would have seen at the beginning of this one, pretty much speaks for itself. And obviously this week is a super special one. Of course, it's a rifle, as you guys can see. If you don't actually understand that, well, let's not get into it anyway. So this one is super special, and obviously, of course, because this week's discount code is substantially larger than all the other discount codes we've done thus far. So, of course, I am going to be leaving the code down more or less right there now, but I'm not going to tell you what discount that code is until the very end. So, you guys are going to have to stick around for that one anyway, so let's dive straight on into it. So, this lovely hunk of machinery right here in front of me is none other than the EGT M4 from Bell. So it is full metal construction. We're going to start on the externals and we'll work our way through onto the internals, because that is where all the difference is made. So obviously, as you guys can see, it's a modernized M4. Of course, you do have your sort of new gen receivers, as you guys can see, with a lot more sort of sharp edges, not so much rounded like you would see on the original M4s. These sort of arched trigger guards are just such a nice little touch. It just adds a completely different look to it. But then of course we're staying old school in the sense of we have old school Picatinny quad rails, as you guys can see, that old school triangle front sight, as you guys are seeing there, and of course the little rattle that comes with it that most of us will just tape up anyway because we never use those. And of course it does come from the factory fitted with an amplifier, so you do get your nice little cracky shots in there, and of course fitted with this early 2000s, I think it was early 2000s sort of style stock, which is actually quite nice. You do have a ton of battery space as well as QD sling mount points there, so should you decide to run one of those slings, you can do that. But it is also fitted with one of these hooks right here, so you can mount your sling directly on there. Of course, bolt hold open with a rotary hop, none other than, as you've come to expect, nothing else from Bell. So externally speaking, this thing is incredible. As you guys see, it's kind of like a nice mix of old school and modern, which is actually quite nice. It is growing on me, I want to say slightly, but it's not the case. It's growing on me rather substantially, and I don't even play anymore, so that pretty much says all that you need to know. And of course it runs standard M4 mags, so nothing special there whatsoever, so you guys can pretty much run whatever mid caps, whatever high caps, drum mags, whatever the case may be, you can run it in there. It is your standard run-of-the-mill M4, which means it'll take it all. So that being said, externally, like I said, there's not a whole lot to actually go on. It is full metal construction. It's a mix of old school and modern, which is actually quite nice. And of course you do get a lot of sort of, what's the word, I want to say visual points, but that's not the correct word. Bugger it, doesn't matter. Either way, it is one hell of a sexy rifle. And of course, being version 2 or being an M4, it does run none other than a version 2 gearbox. Now this is the exact gearbox that you will find inside this Bell, which is of course a CNC construction, as well as internal CNC parts from the factory, quick release spring, 8mm gearbox, or 8mm ball bearings already fitted into the gearbox. Of course, this particular model doesn't come out with a MOSFET. It is straightforward standard analog triggers, as you guys see here. Nothing fancy about it, but it is MOSFET compatible, so you can drop pretty much whatever MOSFET you want in there. If you want to drop in the Bell MOSFETs, you can. They obviously are compatible. Perrins, G&G MOSFETs even, they're all compatible. It's not an issue whatsoever. And of course, like I said, this is a CNC gearbox. It's not a cast. You guys can actually see sort of machine marks here and there, so it pretty much tells you, if I could stop bumping this camera, it would be great. So it pretty much tells you all you need to know. So I mean, it is, like I said, it is full CNC, which means this gearbox is going to be a lot stronger than your standard gearboxes, like what we're used to, where they're cast. And obviously as you upgrade springs and that sort of thing, you will eventually start to get nose cracks and things like that here. Simply not the case with Bell. And like I said in previous videos, and even in this one, these guns come from the factory pre-upgraded, so that is your sign right there. It does have a plastic cylinder head, of course, but it does have a CNC piston, CNC air nozzle. Jeez, like my language is out of this world today. Anyway, It does have a CNC nozzle and it does have a CNC piston head, so you can still add a little bit to it, but I guarantee you're probably not going to need to, because this gun straight from the factory comes in at around about 370 to 380 feet per second. So in joules, that's roughly 1.35 to around about the 1.4 joule mark. So perfectly in line where it needs to be sitting, not too low, not too high. As most of us know by now, that when you try and chase that like borderline 400 feet per second, you start to end up with more problems more than anything else as you go to different fields and different venues and that sort of thing. Some people won't allow it depending on their chronos, depending on BB weight limits, etc, etc. So that is kind of the sweet spot, and this thing is sitting directly in said sweet spot. It is pretty much good to go. You don't need to do a damn thing to it. It is 11.1 volt recommended battery from the manufacturer, even with the standard analog trigger. So of course, drop 11.1 in there, you're going to get the best response you could possibly get out of this gun. You're not going to need to do anything to it. Drop your optics, drop your attachments, call it a day, and just go and have fun with it. And there it is right there. So like I said, that discount code, the same one I left down there for you guys, that is going to get you a full 15% off this yummy little thing right here. So for those of you guys that aren't looking for a new rifle, or those of you guys that just want to add another one to the mix, or you know, some of you AK boys out there that want to add M4 to the list, or whatever the case may be, whatever your reasons are, if you just want to piss off the wife, go for it. But you're going to get your 15% off should you use that code. So go ahead, grab yourself an EGT. I guarantee you will not regret it. These things are incredible. So go ahead, check it out on the website. The link is down in the description below. And don't forget, on your checkout, use your discount code and that will get you 15% off. And as per usual, guys, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, keep us going. Comments, criticisms, praises, flirtations, whatever the case may be, leave it down in the comments below. We will get to it, I promise you. And yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next video. And hopefully the next video will be in a completely different location with a little bit less background noise, but I don't want to go too deep into that, so we'll leave it at that for now. So go ahead, check out the EGT, grab yourself one. It's awesome. We'll see you guys in the next video.